Welcome everyone. This is gonna be the first video lecture. I'm gonna start posting video lectures on my YouTube channel from workshops and seminars that I host at various events. And for this first one, I'm gonna show the presentation that I did recently at the mindfulness event here in Cyprus, because a lot of people wanted to come but couldn't make it, and others cannot see it because they are abroad. For this presentation, we're going to talk about the hero within. That's the subject. But first of all, who am I? I have been trained, my name is Vasilis Stepanou, as you already seen. I have been trained in martial arts, various martial arts, for more than 10 years now. And because of that, I really enjoyed the culture behind various martial arts, because the traditional ones can show you the culture they're coming from, the customs, and everything related to that, their philosophy, all this. And I wanted to learn more about in an academic level. So I started doing academic studies. I'm studying on ancient civilizations, cultures, and philosophy. That's my academic studies. And as you can see from the pictures, I have already gave some wellness and martial arts and cultural presentations to various groups, depending on what the group were related to. What is this presentation all about? As we said, it's about the hero within in each and every one of us, and the warrior's path, what I learned from martial arts, and how are these two are interconnected, in my point of view. Now, the point was to move. The presentation, I told people to stand up, and I told them 5 basic moves that I was sure everyone knew about, and they are related to something at the end of the presentation. So these 5 moves are first of all the sumo squat, like the normal squat, but the base, our legs are wide. Second one, the warrior pose, where one leg is looking forward and the other one diagonally 45 degrees, and the hands are to the sides. And we look we look forward, basically, where the leg goes. The third one, assisted single leg deadlift, like the normal deadlift, where we lower ourselves the weight, but we put 80% or 70% on one leg and the rest 20 or 30 on the other, barely touching with the toes on the floor. Fourth, cross squats or X squats. We bring one leg behind the other to cross them, and we lower ourselves to squat. That's the cross squat. And the fifth, the tree pose, again from yoga, where one leg is to the side and we are balancing on one leg. You can find these moves if you are not familiar with them online. They are really popular in fitness and yoga classes. So that's why I showed people that everyone knows or have done this before, at least, if not all, most of them. And that is a reason we'll see later on. Now, first of all, hero versus warrior, the differences and the similarities. Who is a hero or heroine? Now, it can be anyone. It's not about just a single person or a superhuman like we have in our minds. Hero can be anyone that saved someone else, sacrificed for the greater good, or something like that, along those lines. Even a mother can. We have examples that they saved their kid while the kid was under a car. She lifted the car. There was a case. She found the power to lift the whole car to save her kid. She was a heroine, but she didn't know that she had that power until that time. Now, who is a warrior? A warrior is someone that is trained, of course, in martial arts, but it's more than that. Warriors have been in every culture, in every civilization throughout the world, and they were walking this path, the warrior's path, learning about themselves, both internally and externally, how to move their bodies, and so much more that we will look later on. These two are different, but can be won through personal cultivation. As we said, we can train ourselves physically. That's the fitness part in the martial art of the warrior part, but also internally. There is an internal part. If you actually take traditional arts, that's more common in traditional arts. But if you are a good teacher, even in modern times, you can learn the modern martial arts. You can learn those. And a great example is from one of my teachers. She is teaching us the Taoist Chinese martial arts that are connected. They are related to the Chinese thinking, philosophy, cosmology, and they have symbols and meaning behind every single move and word they use. I will show an example with the Jan, the so-called the straight double-edged sword. It can be found in any martial art, but is a famous Chinese sword. You can see, and the symbol is here is called washing the red dust. That comes from the form we do for the sword. It comes from a poem, and every word or phrase it means it has a meaning that it's a move, so you can remember. Red dust it's like masking, like a cover for red blood, because back in the days they were killing people, and then they were washing the blade, they are removing the blood of their opponent. But hopefully, in our times, we are not killing someone. So symbolically and to sound nice there, in the poem it says, washing the red dust. So while we're moving the sword, at some point we're doing this. So it's like we're washing the red dust from the red blood, from the sword. And it symbolically means that we are trying, while we're doing our moves, our form, to wash the negativity, the negative side of society, or internally, the negative things they are teaching us, of being mean to others, of hurting others, and instead be a better person to build our character for something great. That's a nice symbolism there. I really like that part. Next, we're gonna move to The Hero's Journey by Joseph Campbell. I'm sure most of you know about this. From the famous mythologist. He created the so-called Hero's Journey. We have the graph here, and we'll explain a few things on it. First of all, in every culture we have seen this. A hero receives a call to adventure. That's in the first part, call to adventure here. He might refuse, something supernatural happens, or he or she finds a mentor to guide him or her. He accepts the challenge. By the way, the figure mentor is in most cases is a wizard, which also symbolically is the magician archetype for Carl Jung, for the ones that read Carl Jung, because the magicians used to have the knowledge. They were the wise men. A great example is Gandalf from the Lord of the Rings. So then our hero moves on to the unknown world, where he gets into the initiation part, where he is changing. There he will find multiple obstacles, difficulties to face, but also allies to assist further, and an almost unbeatable opponent. It can be the bad guy, the boss of what he has to face, the strongest guy. At some point, might even he or she might even die and be reincarnated. Depends on the story. But because our hero goes through this, he becomes stronger mentally and physically. So he had to go through this. Otherwise, he wouldn't change. In the end, our hero comes back to the known world. He returns. The adventure ends, and he becomes the hero and the master of both worlds. The known, that he had to leave and come back to his community, his society, and the unknown, where he had to go and face monsters and so on. He knows both worlds now. This narrative can be found everywhere. Some examples are Odysseus' journey. After he left Troy, he had to travel another 20 years to go back to his Ithaca, to his country. The folktale of King Arthur, that he took the Excalibur sword and he became, with the help of Merlin, the wise, the magician, and he became the king of Britain. Even to our times, we have the modern interpretations. A great one is Star Wars. If you think about it, Luke Skywalker finds his family dies, so he cannot refuse the call to come and save people from Obi-Wan, which is the wise mentor. He takes him over, teaches him, he finds new allies, Han Solo and Leia. The opponent he has to face, Darth Vader, his father. And in the end, he returns as a hero, Jedi Knight, and he brings balance to the Force. And even a fun fact here, George Lucas, the creator of Star Wars, studied Joseph Campbell. Joseph Campbell in an interview said that George Lucas, he was his best student because Star Wars is a perfect example of the hero's journey. I like this part of where Campbell said, the light of common day, which means a call to come out of our comfort zone. That talks to us, to our modern times, our people, to us people, that whenever something new comes, we have to come out of the light of the common day for something new, to take the new adventure, the new endeavor that comes along the way. The call can be any new endeavor or project, something that will be nice for us to take on. A mentor can be any coach, teacher, someone that will help you along the way. Obstacles, of course, challenges and difficulties that you probably will face because something new, something unusual for you. And return, that you come back as a better and improved self. Because you went through it, you had the heartaches, you learned the hard way, and you created something. You did it. War was and still is inevitable. Unfortunately, for a few reasons, for fame, power, land, treasures, everyone was fighting for some reason to take another kingdom, not times because of money and petrol, oil, and so on and on and on. For many reasons. That's human nature. Because of that, we have the real and legendary heroes to give us hope. Without those, we wouldn't fight back. Some examples can be Rama from Ramayana, as you can see to the right. Rama was from the Hindu epic called Ramayana, which means the journey of Rama, the hero journey. So it was the journey of Rama to become the king that he was supposed to be for his kingdom. He was exiled for 14 years. He had to face demons, and when he came back, he became even better king for his kingdom. Atalanta the huntress. Most of the times, we associate the hero, the warrior, with men, but Atalanta shows us that that's not true. There were also heroines and women warriors back in the days, and we still have women that are really heroes and warriors. Atalanta is a great example. She was taught by Artemis, the goddess of hunting, archery, wilderness. So she didn't need any man. The same with Atalanta. Artemis taught her how to be a great huntress, how to run really fast. That's why we see her here in the running pose. And that's actually from the myth that she took on a bull run and she beat all the great warriors at her time, and she caught the boar before them because she was better than them. Gilgamesh from the Epic of Gilgamesh, the oldest known epic poem in humanity. This is the story of the Gilgamesh, the king of Uruk. He was an actual king, but he was also considered a demigod, that he was really strong, and because he was a king in Mesopotamia, he had everything. But he wanted more. He wanted to live forever. So he went through the journey to find the elixir of immortality, but in the end he understood that the best thing is to be the better person, and he became a better king for his people, and we are still talking about him to this day. The unbeatable samurai Miyamoto Musashi. He is considered the most well-known samurai. He had 60 battles. No one beat him ever. And he started fighting at the age of 13 years old. I don't know about you, but at 13 years old, I was still trying to figure out math. And I still do. But this guy, he was fighting with swords. And no one beat him. And lastly, the comic book superheroes. Thanks to Marvel and DC, these don't need any introductions. I'm sure you know about them. Now, warriors throughout various cultures. Some examples are the Aztec Jaguar warriors. They were the warriors in Mesoamerica from the Aztec civilization. They were dressed like jaguars because it was really important animal for them, a fearsome warrior animal, and because of that, they embodied this fearlessness from the animal, and they are always on the front line. They were the best, and because of that, their opponents were always scared of them. Spartans, no need to elaborate. I'm sure everyone knows about them, especially from 300's movie. King Leonidas, the Sparta, kick, and all this stuff. They were supposed to be the best of the Greek warriors. Japanese Ronin samurai. Miyamoto Musashi was a Ronin samurai. Ronin means exiled. Back in the days when the samurai were around in Japan, they were serving another samurai. Many samurais were serving a specific one. He was the master, called daimyo. So if that daimyo died, the samurai underneath him were becoming ronin. They were exiled from their Japanese culture. But even after that, these warriors, the samurais, were still following their warrior's path. They were still saving others, they were learning arts, and not only fighting, like calligraphy and poetry or a musical instrument. They had to learn all this, which is culture, if you think about it. Chinese Kung Fu masters. Now, this picture is from Kill Bill, a parody movie, but it's a great representation of what the Chinese think about the old Kung Fu masters. First of all, Kung Fu means skill achieved through hard work. It's not a martial art. You can have Kung Fu and everything, in bakery, and artistry, and so on. You become Kung Fu master when you become the best in that. Now, in the picture, if you notice this Kung Fu master has a really long, wide eyebrows and a long beard. That means he lived long. Because the Chinese also trained their eternal arts, and they tried other methods, the herbalism, the Chinese medicine. So if someone had this long hair, it means they lived long. Internally, they were really healthy. The Scandinavian Varangians. Back when the Vikings were around, when the Swedish came down to the Slavic countries, these guys were called Varangians. They were the really strong warriors. Of course, as we know, they are really tall, strong warriors, the Vikings. And imagine having this guy with this long axe swinging at you with full power. I'm sure you're gonna run away. So especially they had also a lot of strength. And because of that, even at some point, the great Roman Empire had them as the guards of their castles. So they were really strong. Lastly, Maori warriors from New Zealand. There are these guys that are full of tattoos, and when they were around back in the days, they were fighting with other cultures. When they are about to face their opponents, we start doing this haka dance. If you have seen before rugby matches with New Zealand, they do it before the matches. They hit the chest like apes. They're shouting. They take their tongues out. They're shouting. Imagine seeing this in front of you, and you're about to battle these guys. I'm sure you're gonna run away. You're gonna be scared of them. And also it increases their morale, their group morale. So that's why they are still doing it in matches. First of all, it's a custom, starts from their tradition, and they are still continuing it, and it helps in the match. As you can see, all these warriors follow a different socio-cultural customs and traditions, but they walk the same path. They are all warriors. That's what binds them together. As the author Stefan Verstappen argues, a warrior is an individual who follows a code of moral conduct. His initiatives are useful and he takes responsibility for his actions. He also possesses qualities such as vigor, courage, clear thinking, and the ability to defend himself or others while remaining on a spiritual path in harmony with the universe. He trains his intellectual, emotional, and instinctive skills. In some traditions, he even has the knowledge of healing, mysticism, and shamanism. He is not a pawn of others, like soldiers in a war who obey orders from someone with a higher rank, who often sends them to slaughter for ideological or political reasons. I love this explanation from Stefan, from his book The Way of the Warrior. It perfectly explains what a warrior is. Someone that improves mentally, physically, psychologically, and he has even more skills. In the example of, for example, the Chinese Kung Fu masters, has also the knowledge of healing, the traditional Chinese medicine. In many countries, they had shamanism and many more. And they were fighting for their reasons. Even the Ronis continue fighting for others, even if their master died. So it's not about political and ideological reasons. Some examples of warriors in our times, because we still do have some of those, are the firefighters that are facing the strongest element of nature. They are facing fire. They are sacrificing themselves for others, or policemen that fight vandalism at football matches and so on. So you can be a warrior and a hero, even to this day. Now, what are the benefits for training the warrior's path? Of course, physical attributes, improve your balance, otherwise your opponent will throw you down. Agility, to move in different directions effectively. Stamina, to go for longer. Strength, of course, because you are training, you are improving. Pain tolerance, you get hit, even sparring, and you don't feel that pain. You need stronger hits to feel them and make you go down. Your reflexes, no matter what your opponent gives, punches, kicks, you will react before you even think. Your hands and legs move faster than your brain. And lastly, the spatial awareness. You are aware of where your body is and what is around within your space, your area. That all this you are learning while you are training in martial arts. Now, mental attributes. You improve your confidence because you know you are stronger and you know some techniques or whatever. Mental resilience. No matter what happens, even in other situations, you become stronger because of the training through the hardness. Intuition. You know what the correct move or action is to take and what to say to others in any situation, because you have to face various challenges through the journey, and willpower. You are stepping into the ring for sparring, for fighting someone else, another opponent, and it improves your willpower in general. Proper breathing, because without it you're not gonna last for more than one, maybe maximum 2 minutes while sparring with others, or even just training fitness levels. You need to breathe properly to go for longer time. And because of that, your concentration also improves. You don't need to concentrate your breathing, and you concentrate on what you need to do. You focus on the goal at hand, and it helps you calm down. Lastly, but most importantly, inner qualities. The Chinese call them Wu Da. I put it in brackets. The first two letters Wu means martial. D is virtue. So martial virtues, or you learn from martial arts internally. Of course, the first thing everyone says about martial arts is discipline. If you don't have discipline, your teacher will throw you out. You need to follow his orders or her orders. Humility. You know that others are always better than you, someone is better than you, and you need to keep improving every single day. Respect for your teacher, fellow students, and even opponents from other schools. You need to have it, otherwise you're gonna hurt someone. Self-control, because you know that you can hurt someone, even kill someone. You learn how to control your power and yourself in any situation, even when you step out of the school, which is really important for martial arts and life. Righteousness, already said before, with intuition, you know what the correct move is or thing to say in any situation. Loyalty to your school, your teacher, and even to the art you are training. Confidence, you feel better about yourself because you know that you are improving overall. And courage, that you are stepping every day into the ring, fighting someone else. Your courage improves. I like this Chinese proverb. A student said to his master, "You teach me fighting, but you talk about peace. How do you reconcile the two?" The master replied, "It is better to be a warrior in a garden than to be a gardener in a war." Whether someone tries to kill or hurt you or your family, your loved ones, it's better to know how to defend than not knowing, because you are thinking that you're not. You are learning fighting. And as we said before, one of the most important things is self-control in martial arts. So you understand that can hurt someone, so you don't use it to others if there is no real reason of using your skills. The renowned Jungian analyst James Hillman, the most well-known student of Carl Jung, explains why the mythic hero archetype must be a part of humanity. Civilization requires a hero myth. In fact, it is built upon that myth. Though the hero himself is not existent, a figure of legend of another age past and dead. The ancient city is built upon the burial tumulus of that figure. The dead hero is thus never dead, but lives on as the ideals and virtues of civilization. He is the imaginal force within the inspiration of great deeds of public good. So the heroes helped civilizations grow, and we still need them to this day to help us improve as humanity and try to achieve those ideas so that our civilization continues to grow instead of crumbling. Now, at the beginning, we 5 moves, or I told you that I'm sure you know them from fitness and yoga classes. That's where they are connected to the warrior's path. When you start learning in Chinese martial arts, you learn a few stances. That's the basics. Now here I'm going to show you 5 basic ones, and you can see that they are exactly the same as the ones you learn from fitness and yoga classes. Ma Bu. Ma means horse, and Bu means stance. So it's horse stance. It's the same as you can see from the picture, like the sumo squat. Ma is called horse stance because back in the days when they were fighting the warfare, when they were on the horses, that's how they used to sit on the horse. That's why it's called horse stance. and it's the same as the sumo square. So you're already doing it. That one can be starting fighting position, retreating one, depending on the situation, or even for fitness sake, you train your your leg muscles. The second one is Kung Fu, bow and arrow stance. It's the same as the warrior pose too. Their lower legs is the same, one forward, the one at the back, diagonal 45 degrees. But instead of having your hands to the sides, you are doing the punch for your move. That's the attacking stance. It's called bow and arrow, of course, because you are attacking. And even in yoga, that's why it's called warrior's pose. Even yoga was for warfare. Their warriors were training yoga to improve their flexibility and strength before going to war. And the pose is like the archer that's trying to shoot an arrow. Shubu, empty stance, because one of the legs doesn't have a lot of weight, as we said before. Now here the lady is going really low. You can do it a bit further up. You have 70 or 80% on one leg, and the other one is barely touched with the toes. It's the same. That's a retreating pose stance. When the opponent is trying to hit you, you move backwards. You put all the weight of the back legs to have the balance to stay upright, and the other one barely touches because you are going back to go away from the opponent. Shubu, the cross stance, like the lady does it here. You cross one leg behind the other, the same as you're gonna do it in fitness. This one is again a retreating pose. You go even further than the Shubu, the previous one, the empty stance. And you can also, because it makes you go lower, you can cover yourself if your opponent is hitting you from further up. And last, Tuli Boom, it means goat and rooster stance, is the same as pose, where one leg is on the side of the other, and you are balancing on the other one. And in fighting stance, that's attacking one. You do this because you want to reach further and hit your opponent that is way further than your area of where you can hit the opponent. In conclusion, heroes sacrifice themselves for the greater good. They are role models who inspired others to take a leap of faith or fight for justice. For thousands of years, heroes have been showing us a virtuous path through their stories, folk tales, and myths. Embracing the warrior's path is crucial in today's world, whether to protect our loved ones or simply to inspire them. Whether we train in martial arts or not, we can all strive to cultivate the warrior virtues and ideals, aiming to embody the hero within and emit those ideas outwards. As we said, whether we train in martial arts or not, which is good for you, at least try to train the eternal ideas, the virtues, as we talked already about, and try to help others take the steps to go there on their journeys for whatever that reason that might be. If you have any questions about the presentation or anything related to that, please write your comments down in the comments section and I will try to answer all of them. And lastly, I want to say that this presentation was related to my newest book, the second one, Back to the Roots, where I research and I explain how various cultures throughout the world, I go through the most well-known ones like Mesopotamia, Egypt, Greece, Scandinavia, China, India, America, Oceania, various places. And I look at what they gave us, the symbols, their wisdom, their knowledge, the meaning behind all those, how they are connected, how they gave each other something to work on, and they create something new. Every culture had something great to leave for us, and we can use this knowledge in our times to improve our lives. The ancients gave us a lot more than we think. So this presentation was one chapter from the book. So if you like the chapter, I'm sure you're gonna love the book. And there is also a lot of Carl Jung inside. That's why we had the archetype before and James Hillman. So if you're really into all these things, you can send me in any of the social media. You can sit down with my name, Vasilis Stefan. You can find me in any of those social media. Text me, and I can send you the signed copy. I have sent the book in America and various countries in Europe. That's not an issue. Now, for the social media, I have in Goodreads my account where I have my books, and people, when they are wrote reviews about my books, if you read already or you're gonna read it, that I would be grateful if you write a review on it in any of the books of the two. I have Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I'm mostly on Instagram where I post small reels and fun facts about ancient cultures, civilizations, and philosophical ideas. I'm gonna start uploading on my YouTube channel these longer video lectures, and I have some other videos you can watch about fitness. And lastly, on Medium, I have free articles, anything related to cultures and philosophy. So you can also go there and read if you like. I hope you like the presentation. Share it with your friends. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe in the YouTube channel for future videos. And I will see you in the next one.